Hello, a quick take on the Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir election results. Number one, it's the moment when the BJP puts aside the Lok Sabha election result and gets down to business. It certainly managed to change the narrative with that because the Bharatiya Janata Party has taken a state that was tipped to go to the Congress, and they have completely beaten the Congress at the game of election management. I'm going to break it down for you. What is the reason that the BJP was able to get the better of the Congress in Haryana? First of all, first, the Bharatiya Janata Party has proved much better at constituency level electoral management. They have been able to do so because, unlike the Lok Sabha elections, when the cadre of the RSS was disillusioned and not working in states such as UP, Maharashtra, and a few other places, they worked together in Haryana. And they managed to get feedback from each constituency, which was far more detailed than what the Congress managed. Let me elaborate. The classic explanation for the Congress falling a little behind the BJP and therefore losing a chunk of votes in the first past the post system, chunk of seats in the first past the post system, is that there was counter mobilization in Haryana against the domination of the Jat community, which is a dominant caste group with a population of 27% in the state. It has traditionally held power. It is loud, it is vocal, they are the so-called Lathaites, or they have the muscle in rural and urban Haryana. The Bharatiya Janata Party, when it came to power in the year 2014 in Haryana, it went with a social calculation that was about non-Jat communities. And they have stuck to that quietly. They got some Jat support also because during the Modi era, we've had hyped up incidents which are of nationalism. For instance, the last election was in the Pulwama Balakot cycle of events. But in this election, after the Bharatiya Janata Party lost a simple majority in the Lok Sabha, how did they manage to do better than a Lok Sabha performance in the state of Haryana, where they had lost some seats in the Lok Sabha contest? Very simple. Again, I repeat, micromanagement seat by seat, with cadres, with feedback. The administration is in BJP hands, and the Sangh Parivar, how it works is that they map each constituency and they know the localities where people are voting. There is a constant outreach. Will this community be voting enthusiastically? Will that not be voting? What will be the mobilization and the counter mobilization? They have completely maxed that. So, what the Congress is currently calling EVM fraud is, I'm not getting into that in detail, but the Congress is not able to match the game of constant feedback from the ground and then fixing how many people must come to that polling booth. Polling booth 21 must get so many voters of the BJP because the opposing side is going to get that much mobilization likely to be. So that is how the BJP operates. It did not do so in some places in the Lok Sabha election. There was a mood against the PM also, but they did that again in Haryana. They crept up quietly doing the work, and they were able to turn the tables. That is the number one factor, electoral management. Number two, the BJP played down the Prime Minister and it projected the sitting Chief Minister, who was recently brought in March this year itself, Mr. Naib Singh Saini, as he's in his 50s, he's relatively fresh, and he comes from an OBC community. He was projected as the face, but not in some very big, hyped up way as Modi usually is. It was just stated quietly that he will be the chief minister. And Modi had a few rallies, but it was not, they had shifted from the Modi ki guarantee Modi hai to mumkin hai, sab kuch Modi ke naam se, they shifted from that template. They kept it local. It can be argued that maybe they did that because they didn't want another defeat to be attributed to the Prime Minister. It can also be argued that they realized that perhaps you need local leadership also when you fight state elections, whatever it is. The BJP game plan and image projection has been modified in Haryana. So they went with the local leadership. They stuck to their old social paradigm of non-dominant communities, and they waited for the counter mobilization against the voluble Jat community. Every community has a right to be voluble and vocal, but Indian politics is full of mobilization, polarization, and counter polarization and counter mobilization. Haryana is a classic case of that. The other thing is, within the Congress, there was a clear struggle between the Hoodas, who Mr. Bhupender Singh Hooda has been Chief Minister of Haryana earlier, and his son Dipinder Hooda. They are the traditional Jat leadership currently in the Congress. And even though Rahul Gandhi has spoken about caste census and social upliftment, they did not accommodate their most prominent Dalit leader, who is also a woman, Kumari Selja. And their open infighting definitely damaged the Congress in a few seats. Number three, the BJP is much smarter and much more adroit at accommodating people and small independents and regional parties which might be influential in one seat or the other. They have a calculation about vote cutters. That is actually the Amit Shah template. That, let's say you're fighting against a particular opposition, how do you get someone to cut their votes and keep yours intact? So there are 2-3 formulas at play. You vote cutters against the other party, and using your cadre to absolutely maximize whatever strengths you have. Still, the BJP was not so confident. They went in, they were fighting, the cadre was fighting, everybody was united in fighting. There's also a psychological shift here. You must understand that in the Lok Sabha election, it was declared Modi ji 400 par. Victory is a foregone conclusion. So people sat back. That was arrogance. That was the strutting of one leader. Here, defeat was written. So they rose to the occasion, the cadre, the party, the parivar, the strategists, they all did. That's what happened in Haryana. Similarly, likewise, the BJP, if we look at it from the ideological perspective, then yes, there is a vision, there is a goal of ruling Srinagar, of so-called Hindu Indian party running a government from the Muslim majority region of Kashmir. And the Kashmir election, where people voted after a decade, Jammu and Kashmir election, was also ideologically significant. And in a prep towards that ideological goal, the BJP had altered the constituencies, there had been delimitation, and the number of seats from the Jammu region had increased compared to the valley. And there were also a lot of independents who represent the separatist agenda who were allowed to fight in the valley. It was an interesting election. Uh, the BJP game plan was that with Jammu coming, they hoped to get Jammu and then to contest through small players, independents. That did not work out, and there was a clear mandate in Kashmir for the national conference led by the Abdullah family, former chief ministers, Farooq Abdullah and his son Umar Abdullah, both have been chief ministers. They have won in alliance with the Congress. The Congress has been demolished in Jammu. Yes, the BJP's goal of ruling from Srinagar has not been met, but there was a Hindutva aspect to the consolidation that took place for the BJP in Jammu Valley. as the election progressed and as Kashmir had voices which spoke of separative sentiment, which spoke of Gaza, Lebanon, the Israeli atrocities over there, when processions and all came out in the valley, the Jammu region began to consolidate around the Bharatiya Janata Party. Once again, so there was a counter polarization in Jammu also. So outright Hindutva may not have worked, but the a certain Hindutva sentiment was at play both in the Jammu result and also in Haryana, because we cannot forget that there had been riots in the one part of Haryana, which is the district of Nu, which in the term of this BJP government that has now, which completes a term. So Hindutva is still a factor in all BJP's calculations. It may not be so overt, but it's pretty overt also if you hear some of the speeches carefully of the Home Minister, the Prime Minister, and local leaders of the BJP. So, three things have fallen into place for them. One, the Parivar is working together. Two, in Haryana, they found a balance between projecting the PM and a local leadership. And three, their ground management of each seat was again phenomenal. And Hindutva is again in the air as far as they are concerned. Now, what this means is that as we head towards elections in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, the BJP cadre has got a steroid shot. They will be motivated. The whole narrative that the BJP is on the decline and the Congress is on the upswing has been completely disrupted. Of course, we can't come to grand conclusions from one election, but what this election shows you is the BJP can fight, and it is the dominant party of the age. Thank you very much.